This is Will Nunziata, New York City-based director and creator of theater, television, and film. And today I am thrilled to be speaking with Liam Mason of the acclaimed alt-rock funk fusion band, Turtle Rock. But before we get to our interview, here is a sneak peek at Turtle Rock's incredible talent with their song, Slow.
Taking its toll, and I'm so lost, thinking baby maybe we should let go. I'm holding on, and I fall too fast, and I hold tight. I'm taking it slow, my whole life, and I'm holding on till you're all I want, and I might not open up to you, oh please don't move.
How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you doing?
Liam, I'm doing great, and I'm really excited. The audience got a little sneak peek of you and your incredible band with your song "Slow." Can you talk to me a little bit about the impetus for that song? How it all got created?
Yeah, so that whole album is kind of that's off our first album. It's the only one we have right now, too. Also, but that one is kind of. It's like, so I have this thing that I've been working on for a while, and it's called the Borderman, and it's this theory. I don't know if you know about the Philadelphia Project. Have you ever heard of that?
Maybe.
It's like, so in like the 60s, all this information surfaced about this conspiracy theory about there was a boat that was like right after World War II. There was a boat that was off the coast of Florida, and it just like they were testing some type of technology that nobody really knew about, and it's a conspiracy theory, so it's like take it all with a grain of salt, but it disappeared for like a second and then just popped back up. That's what like reports say, and then like other people across the globe say it appeared like in this totally other remote spot, and all the sailors who were on the boat were like fused to the ship, and they were just like everyone was crazy and had like crazy PTSD and like all this stuff. And so like I was thinking about that a lot one time, and I was thinking like, okay, like where did this boat go? And the only logical explanation is that it went through like some sort of supernatural type of
Limbo?
Yeah, some type of limbo. And it's like, okay, well, what does that look like? So I spent a lot of time thinking about the dimensions that we can understand based on our abilities of like just how we evolved to perceive a three-dimensional world. And there's got to be a higher dimension, fourth dimension, which is time, and then a higher dimension beyond that is fifth dimension of space. And so I just kind of think about like how to visualize that, which is totally impossible, but if you think about it, you can get ideas. So that's kind of where most of my ideas for my music come, is when I'm thinking about that type of stuff.
I freaking love that, Liam. I totally get you. You're a true artist, like the way that you think. Because as a director, I think in like color and texture and shape.
Mm-hmm.
And when I try to describe it to some people, they're like, Will, where do I move to?
Yeah.
Stage right or stage left. And so like, I feel you. And I love that you just like unabashedly just went there. So thank you for that. Talk to me a little bit about how you all came up with the band name Turtle Rock.
Yeah, it's kind of like, I don't know, if a turtle listened to music, if a turtle listened to rock music specifically, what would it sound like? That
I literally got like Fraggle Rock vibes, but I'm probably a lot older than you.
I like Fraggle Rock. I know Fraggle Rock.
Okay, but you're like, no, Will, it's Turtle Rock.
Well,
Okay.
I mean, it's probably, everything is an amalgamation of everything else. So
thank you for that
in there.
affirmation, Liam. Listen, this time during the pandemic was tough for everyone, but I'm curious to know what you and your bandmates were able to do during the pandemic in terms of, creating your next album. Was there a creative flow that went on? And if so, when can we as an audience hear what you guys came up with?
So the pandemic was kind of hard because we had shows like back to back to back right before that. But when that hit, like all of our shows were like, okay, we're not going to play shows. Everyone's going to get sick. So we kind of all have focused on our own things a little bit. I just recently moved out I was in Sacramento when it first started. And then last January, I moved out into Oakland. And then, so my drummer and my bass player are still in Sacramento, and we're practicing about once a week. And I've written a new album, and we're just kind of practicing it because we like to track everything live. But they also are working on their own individual projects right now. It's been kind of a nice period for us to be able to get in touch with our own stuff, and then to be able to come back together with all that new stuff. So like my friend Alex has his band Bloomfield. My friend Kennedy, who's also in the band, releases stuff under the name Kennedy. All that you can see on my website, which is lizardworldmedia.com. But that's kind of just where we put all of our stuff collectively. And I was able to release a couple projects under the name Dodgy. And so that's kind of what the pandemic looked like for us. But we have 12 songs for the new album that we're working on practicing, and they're almost gig ready. And then once we gig around with them for a couple months or so, then they'll be album recording ready.
I love that, Liam. I mean, I also, and by the way, want to remind the audience for more on Liam, Turtle Rock, and everything that each of the band members are doing individually, as well as obviously collectively within Turtle Rock. You can read right below this video. Liam, I love that. I think for a lot of band members and bands that I've spoken with thus far, I think a lot of them went the individual route. But again, I think, like you said, whatever they were learning individually and tools in that tool belt, to bring them back to the collective, to the cauldron, dare I say, there were that many more tools to pick from as a collective. And I'm curious what you're most looking forward to in getting back in front of a live audience with Turtle Band.
I just like because when you record an album and like you record a song, it's like, that's it, boom, it's locked in, and you can edit it a little bit, but it's like you release it and that's it. My favorite thing about shows and playing live is that you can like, oh, fuck it, I'm going to take a 10-minute solo right here. And it's like, it doesn't matter. You can do whatever you want. And they can be, because like as you know, like it's like all art is like a constantly evolving, living, breathing thing. And so I like to experiment with that when we're playing live. Really like explore what the songs are as in that moment, as opposed to what we recorded them as.
Well, yeah, it becomes a conversation with an audience. I mean, I get it as a singer for God knows 25 plus years professionally before I went after my directing. My twin brother loves recording. He loved when we would get in the studio. For me, I just loved the live. I mean, I liked recording, but I was in love with what happens with that conversation between artist and audience that no one can ever take away from anyone. Yeah. You can't.
And it's totally like specific to, anyone who plays a show will tell you, but it's totally specific to that audience. And like
that audience, that day, that vibe, the smell. Was it late? Is it summer? Do you know what I mean?
Did you have one too many? Did you have one not enough?
Listen, Liam, you think you know me. Actually, you do. Anyway, but we won't go into that. Final question for you, Liam, is if you could give your younger self any advice, what would it be?
Probably. That's a good question. It would probably be drop out of school.
Really?
But that's not advice that I would give to anyone else. That's just for me.
Do you feel like, no, and that's okay. And I've heard that from a lot of artists. I mean, do you feel like you knew early on what exactly you wanted to do and what you needed to do it? And that did you feel like you succumbed to pressure of what the preconceived notion of like, finish your school, get your education, blah, blah, blah?
Definitely. Yeah. I mean, like, I still don't know exactly what the specifics of what, like, I work a few different jobs and do music and stuff too at the same time. And it's just like, I like that flexibility. But when I first got out of high school, and I was like, I hate school, but I have to go to college. And I tried college like 3 or 4 different times and just like realized like this totally isn't for me. So
Liam, I'm just meeting you, and all the research I've done of you, and based upon our like 3-second conversation, you are a true artist. And you know what that saying is that like, if you could do anything else, do it. I
Hmm.
have a really good gut instinct about talent. There's nothing else that you should be doing. You're truly an artist that I think not only enjoys the mess, but also enjoys the craft and being a student of your craft. I think that's your education is like you love being a student of your bliss.
Oh yeah, totally. Thank you so much for saying that, by the way.
No, listen, I'm from New York. I say it like it is. I think I'm a little clairvoyant, but everyone in my family thinks I'm nuts. But you know what? God bless you.
I know I'm with you there. I'm on the
Well,
Borderman things that Thanksgiving is going to be a treat because I got so much. Okay, and there's dimensional and Sullivan. He's this tentacle Lovecraftian tentacle monster, and he comes down and
yeah,
he's real.
yeah, I know. And how many times have you gotten, oh, Liam, when are you going to get that record deal? When are you going to be on Ellen? You should try out for The Voice, or you should
Yeah.
be on. Can those people on American Idol help you out, Liam? But you know what you say, Liam? I have something that you're going to tell these people, not these people, your family during Thanksgiving. So you spoke with a Broadway director who met with me for less than 10 minutes and researched me and said that I was an effing star. And you can tell them that.
Woo!
And then you can look
You heard
me
it straight
up.
from the horse's mouth.
Then you can have them look me up. And as a singer, I headline Carnegie Hall, whatever. I'm working with the best on Broadway, whatever. Some people say, who am I? No, I'm no one, but I get talent. And Liam, you're an effing amazing talent.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for your time today. And I'm grateful that we're connected now.
Yeah, it was great talking to you.
You too.